Think you know the truth about the world? Well, think again. We're bombarded with so much information every day that it's hard to separate fact from fiction. From history to health, we accept certain truths without question, often because we've heard them repeated so many times. But what if I told you that some of the things you believe are completely made up? Today we're diving deep into the biggest lies you've been told your whole life. We're talking about those persistent myths that have been passed down through generations, from schoolyard whispers to well-meaning but misinformed relatives. Get ready to have your mind blown, because some of these revelations might just change how you see the world. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a truth-seeking mission that will challenge everything you thought you knew. Get ready to question everything. Think you know the truth about the world? Well, think again. Today we're busting the biggest lies you've believed your whole life, and some of them might blow your mind. Okay, let's start with a classic. You've probably heard that the Great Wall of China is the only human-made structure visible from space. It's a nice idea, right? A testament to human ingenuity stretching across the landscape, visible even from the heavens. Except it's completely false. I know, it's been repeated so many times that it feels like common knowledge. But don't believe everything you hear. Astronauts have actually debunked this myth time and time again. From low Earth orbit, where most spacecraft operate, the Great Wall is practically invisible. It's just too narrow and blends in too well with the surrounding terrain. Think about it. You need a telescope to see a star, and those are giant balls of burning gas. Do you really think a relatively thin wall would be any easier to spot? It's more likely you'd see a highway before you saw the Great Wall. This myth likely persists because it plays into our fascination with grand human achievements and the vastness of space. We want to believe that we've made a mark on the world that's literally out of this world. But the truth is, the Great Wall's significance lies in its history and cultural impact, not its visibility from space. So the next time someone tries to tell you they saw the Great Wall from their airplane window, you can confidently tell them they're wrong, and maybe hit them with some actual facts about this incredible structure. Did you believe this one? Let us know in the comments. Let's move on to something a little closer to home, our knuckles. More specifically, the deeply satisfying act of cracking them. You've probably been told that cracking your knuckles will give you arthritis. It's a warning often delivered with a healthy dose of disapproval, usually by someone who can't stand the sound. But here's the good news. Knuckle crackers, you can relax. That popping sound that drives everyone else crazy? Perfectly harmless. It's just gas bubbles collapsing in the synovial fluid in your joints. No harm, no foul. Numerous studies have debunked the link between knuckle cracking and arthritis. It turns out those who crack their knuckles don't have a higher incidence of arthritis than those who don't. So feel free to crack away, knowing that you're not jeopardizing your future hand health. Now, that doesn't mean you should go overboard and start treating your fingers like bubble wrap. Excessive cracking can potentially lead to reduced grip strength or some temporary swelling. But a few satisfying pops here and there, go for it. This myth probably persists because it seems somewhat logical. Joints make noise, arthritis affects joints, therefore noise equals arthritis. But our bodies are much more complex than that. So, the next time someone gives you the side eye for cracking your knuckles, tell them to relax. It's not hurting anyone. How often do you crack your knuckles? Tell us below. A lightning never strikes the same place twice. It's a saying we use to reassure ourselves that bad things won't happen again in the same way. Unfortunately, this is one of those sayings that sounds wise, but couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that lightning can and often does strike the same place multiple times. In fact, tall structures like skyscrapers, radio towers, and even trees are more likely to be struck repeatedly. It's all about conductivity and the path of least resistance. Lightning is basically just a giant electrical current looking for the easiest way to the ground, and tall objects provide that shortcut. Take the Empire State Building, for example. That iconic skyscraper gets struck by lightning an average of 25 times per year. It's even been hit as many as 48 times in a single storm. So much for that whole never strikes twice thing, right? This myth likely persists because lightning strikes are relatively rare events for most of us. And the odds of seeing the same spot struck twice in our lifetime are pretty slim. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's just a matter of probability and understanding how lightning works. So the next time you hear someone say lightning never strikes the same place twice, you can set them straight and maybe point them towards the nearest lightning rod for good measure. Have you ever seen lightning strike? Share your experience. Chapter 4, Bat Seeing Guy. Bats? Blind as a bat. It's an expression we use to describe someone with terrible vision. But here's the thing, bats aren't blind at all. In fact, they can see quite well, thank you very much. They just happen to have another, more impressive trick up their wings' echolocation. Bats navigate and hunt by emitting high-pitched sounds and then listening for the echoes that bounce back from objects around them. This allows them to create a detailed sound map of their surroundings, even in complete darkness. It's like having built-in night vision goggles. So not only can bats see, but they also have this incredible superpower that allows them to see even better in the dark. Talk about an overachiever. It's like having X-ray vision, but with sound. This myth probably persists because we associate bats with darkness and caves, places where sight isn't as important. Plus, their eyes are relatively small and they're most active at night, so it's easy to assume they're blind, but that's just not the case. Bats are a fantastic example of how evolution can lead to some pretty amazing adaptations. What other animal myths do you know? Comment below. Chapter 5. Goldfish, more than a 3-second memory. The goldfish, that classic starter pet swimming around in its bowl, seemingly oblivious to the world outside its watery domain. We've all heard the saying that goldfish have a 3-second memory, right? That they swim around in circles, forgetting where they've been or what they've seen every few seconds. Well, guess what? That's another myth we can toss out the window. Goldfish are actually much smarter than we give them credit for. Studies have shown that they can remember things for months, not seconds. They can even be trained to recognize their owners, perform tricks, and navigate mazes. Think about it. If goldfish really did have a 3-second memory, how would they survive in the wild? They'd be constantly forgetting where to find food, how to avoid predators, and even how to swim. It just doesn't make sense. This myth likely persists because goldfish are relatively small and simple creatures, and we tend to underestimate the intelligence of animals that aren't furry and cuddly. But the truth is, even a simple goldfish has a brain that's capable of learning, remembering, and adapting to its environment. What's the coolest thing you've taught a pet? Let us know. Chapter 6. 8-legged bedfellows? Not so fast. Okay, this one's a little creepy, but we need to talk about it. You know that myth that we swallow an average of 8 spiders in our sleep every year? Yeah, that one's completely made up, and frankly a little disturbing. First of all, spiders are arachnids, not insects. They have 8 legs and 2 body segments, unlike insects, which have 6 legs and 3 body segments. But more importantly, spiders are not in the business of crawling into people's mouths while they sleep. They have much better things to do, like building webs, catching prey, and generally avoiding humans at all costs. Think about it. Why would a spider willingly crawl into the dark, moist, and potentially dangerous environment of your mouth? It makes no sense from a survival standpoint. Spiders are much more likely to see you as a threat than a meal. This myth likely persists because it plays into our primal fears of spiders and other creepy crawlies. It's a scary story we tell ourselves to justify our arachnophobia. But the truth is, you're much more likely to find a spider in your bathtub than in your belly. Does this make you feel better about spiders? Share your thoughts. Remember that time you accidentally swallowed a piece of gum and your parents told you it would stay in your stomach for 7 years? Yeah, that was a lie. A well-intentioned lie, perhaps designed to discourage you from gum-swallowing habits, but a lie nonetheless. Here's the deal. While gum isn't exactly digestible, it doesn't just hang out in your stomach indefinitely. Your body treats it like any other indigestible substance, like fiber, and passes it through your system relatively quickly. It might take a little longer than, say, a piece of bread, but it's not going to set up permanent residence in your gut. This myth likely persists because gum is designed to be chewy and long-lasting, so it seems logical that it would take a long time to break down, but your digestive system is more than capable of handling a little bit of gum. It's designed to process all sorts of things, from tough, fibrous vegetables to spicy, acidic foods. A little bit of gum is nothing compared to that. Did your parents tell you this one? Let us know. This one's a little morbid, but it's a common misconception that hair and nails continue to grow after death. It's a creepy thought, right? The idea that even after we're gone, our bodies are still somehow carrying on. But the truth is, hair and nail growth requires cell division, which stops completely shortly after death. What actually happens is that the skin around the hair and nails retracts as it dehydrates, making them appear longer. It's an optical illusion, not a biological phenomenon. This myth likely persists because it's often difficult to tell exactly when hair and nail growth has stopped after death. Plus, the image of hair and nails continuing to grow after death adds a certain creepy factor to horror movies and urban legends, but the reality is much less sensational. Once the body's systems shut down, so does cell growth. What other creepy facts do you know? Comment below. Chameleons are those cool lizards that can change their skin color, right? We've all seen them in documentaries, blending seamlessly into their surroundings, becoming practically invisible to predators, except that's not entirely accurate. While chameleons can change color, it's not primarily for camouflage. They actually change color to communicate, regulate their body temperature, and express their mood. It's a complex form of non-verbal communication, kind of like how we might blush when we're embarrassed or shiver when we're cold. For example, a chameleon might turn bright green to attract a mate, or dark brown to absorb more heat from the sun. They might even display bold patterns to intimidate rivals or signal their submission. It's all about sending visual cues to other chameleons, not about blending into the background. This myth likely persists because it's a much more interesting story to tell. A chameleon that can change color to match its surroundings is much more captivating than one that's just signaling its mood. But the truth is, chameleons are fascinating creatures even without the camouflage myth. What's your favorite color-shifting animal? Tell us in the comments. Eat your carrots, they'll help you see in the dark. How many times did you hear that growing up? Carrots have long been touted as a miracle food for improving night vision, but while they're certainly good for you, they won't give you superhuman eyesight. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, which our bodies convert into vitamin A. Vitamin A is essential for good vision, and a deficiency can lead to night blindness. However, eating more carrots than your body needs won't actually improve your night vision beyond its normal capacity. This myth actually originated during World War II. British pilots were using a new type of radar to spot enemy planes at night, and to keep this technology a secret, they spread the rumor that they were eating lots of carrots to enhance their vision. It was a clever piece of propaganda that has persisted to this day, so while carrots are a healthy snack, don't expect to gain X-ray vision after eating a whole bag. Your best bet for seeing in the dark is still a good flashlight. What's the weirdest thing you've heard about food? Share below. So there you have it, 10 common myths debunked. It's amazing how easily misinformation can spread, especially in the age of the internet. But by being critical thinkers and questioning what we hear, we can separate fact from fiction and gain a better understanding of the world around us. Now that you know the truth behind these lies, what's one thing you believe that turned out to be false? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mind-blowing facts. Keep those brains buzzing, and remember, the truth is out there. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video from FactSphere.